Not bad for my afternoon walk. I walk along here most days, not far from my property where I live. Bloody looks like we might get a bit of storm or something this afternoon. But kangaroos, occasional koalas, great little walk. Living in Australia gives you all sorts of little privileges. Least of all, having kangaroos that are just watching you and looking at you as you're walking along the road. These little beauties you can see here are just watching me, wondering what the hell I'm doing. And then his other family's down there, also watching what I'm. There he is. Hello. And there's the little one. I think that's the mum there. And that's the dad and the little one right there. Hi guys. Yeah. Pretty lucky. We're having a pretty good summer here in Australia at the moment, and you can see the lush grass and the cattle there having a good feed. Great for exports, great for our country, and a lovely little part of the world here. We've got lots of fruit growing, but this particular farm is cattle, so beautiful. Walk and each afternoon on my walk, I walk past here, and it has varying degrees of beauty or ugliness depending on the day, but this is a canal that runs down to a river about 400 metres to 500 metres away. Enters the river, then goes into a much more complex river system located on the mid-north coast, but it's certainly at this time of the day it's pretty nice to look at. So I often stop here, reflect a little bit and enjoy it. Just behind me is some beautiful horses, little foals there that have just been a couple of months old, and yet another beautiful property just up here. But the little horses just here, they really are quite cute. Once again on my afternoon walk, and always finding something. In this particular part where I'm standing now, about 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, this I would have been up to my neck, if not further, underwater. This is a flood area that floods every couple of years, generally low, but 2 to 3 years ago it was huge. It was the 100-year flood, and everything is built, like that house is on a mound that is on the 100-year flood, so it's happened a long time ago and it continues to happen. Ironically, in 2018, 2019 around here, we had a so ironically, 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, we had a drought, the worst drought they'd seen for about 30 years, and it was completely dry. People were buying water in from town because all the dams were empty, there was no groundwater. Things got pretty desperate for the cattle, had to be adjusted other places, yet there was no other places to be found, only further along in the valley. And then this flood we had a couple of years ago, it was about 30 years before that, 20 years before that, was a pretty bad flood, got close to it. So it seems to go in these cycles, and I don't want to get into the bloody climate change stuff because I think I'm a bit more practical than that. I've sort of lived through this. And I'm one for always improving how we can do energy sources and improve anything through technology. I mean, living on a farm, you're really aware of your own self-proficiency in terms of supplying your own electricity, your own water, and running things efficiently. You have to. And if everybody had to do that, including those in the city, maybe this wouldn't be such a big deal. But I'm just here to say, on my walk and my philosophical talk in this beautiful place, kangaroos and, you know, Tooheys bears, it's all been cyclical for me. I've seen the worst, I've seen the best, and I've seen that probably 3 or 4 times over my life so far. So, I mean, right now we're in the middle of summer, right bang smack in the middle of summer, and it's been a ripper. It's been here on the mid-north coast, New South Wales. We've had just a brilliant summer, quite warm, 30, probably the hottest it's got is about 33, 34 degrees maybe on 1 or 2 days. The rest of the time it's in late 20s, early 30s, which is what you'd expect. And I can remember summers much hotter. I can remember summers much wetter, especially up here. But it's looking a bit like we might get a storm brewing there, which would be good. Put a bit of water in the garden and freshen things up a bit. Anyway, just no, nothing like a walk to bring out the thoughts and words of wisdom